What's up, Freedom Biker Church? Yeah. I've always wanted to say that. Man, this is crazy. Now, Heaven's Angels, was that name taken? Or, because that was my first thought. Is that, okay, Highway to Heaven, was that? All right. Freedom Biker Church, I like. One of the things I love about doing comedy is I get to do all kinds of different gigs. And as a clean comic, I get to do a lot of churches. I've done all kinds of different churches. A couple months ago, I was invited to do a charismatic Mennonite church. They asked me to do comedy. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Charismatic Mennonite church. I'm like, how do I even prepare for this? Like, do I start brushing up on my Pennsylvania Dutch or am I speaking in tongues? You know? Like, am I gonna get anointed with oil or with home churned butter? Like, what's going on here? Like, are we raising a barn or raising a hallelujah? Like, I just wanted to know, like, what's going on here? And then I pulled up and I saw a scooter with a tambourine rack outside, and I was like, this is the place. This is gonna be a good night. Charismatic Mennonite. I do all kinds of gigs. A couple weeks ago, I did a black church called Macedonia Baptist. It's right in this area. They knew you guys. I shouted you guys out. They knew you guys. And so, man, I love that church. I was like, I belong at this church. I love black churches. Starting out with the name, okay? Macedonia Baptist. Black churches don't play around when it comes to their names. They're taking that straight from the book of Acts, okay? The one up the street was Canaan Baptist Church, the promised land. Like, they ain't messing around. White churches, their names, you don't know if it's a weed shop or a church, you know? Like Elevation Church, really? Lifted Church? Recreation Church? Like, maybe it was recreation, but that's not how I read it, okay? I'm like, am I about to get some communion bread or some edibles here? Like, what's going on? I was like, is that a fog machine or are you guys just vaping heavy in here? Like, what is going on with these white churches? Another thing I love about black churches is they get dressed up to the nines at a black church. Yeah, I mean, we're talking three-piece suits for the guys, you know, dresses and hats for the women. You know, like they put some respect on it. They dress up like they're coming to the Lord's house. White churches, like my church, we show up like we're coming to the Waffle House, okay? It's like, I know Jesus said, come those who are weary and I'll give you rest, but I don't think that meant wear your jammies and slippers to church, okay? So I've done all kinds of churches. I will say I have never done a biker church. This is new for me. I'm excited for this, okay? Yeah. So I got all kinds of questions. You know, I got all kinds of, first of all, do you have to be a biker to come here? No? So if I roll up on my Huffy, like that counts? All right. I also like, do you guys have like your own biker Bibles? Yeah? How's that work? What's it called, first of all? Nothing changes. Is there like, all right, is there like a back section that there's like caveats, you know? All right, cool. So I was wondering if there was like some caveats, like, you know, like Jesus says, you know, if someone slaps you in the right cheek, turn to him the other. But if someone cuts you off in traffic, you can throw a marble at their windshield, okay? It's like another caveat. It's like, love your enemies, unless they're cops, okay? Then you can deal with that. Or like another caveat, like, do not judge, Jesus says, do not judge. Unless someone rolls up on a Kawasaki, then you can judge them a little bit, okay? So, I love it. I love the fact that I get to do a biker church. This is gonna be great on the resume. Are you guys ready to have a good time tonight? Yeah. So, I have 3 kids under 6 at home, so I'm already having a great time because I'm not there. When you have 3 kids under 6, any event outside of the house becomes really exciting. You know, like I saw the dentist on the calendar the other day and I was like, yes, let's go, dude, root canal. Like, I went to the DMV the other day. It felt like a personal retreat. Like, I was like, this is amazing. The lady said, you know, you could have filled out this form online. And I said, I know, Tracy, I needed this today. You know, I needed to clear my head. 3 kids under 6, anything outside of the house becomes exciting. We got any parents in here of young kids? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, when I tell people I got 3 kids under 6, one of the first things they ask me, we got our 4th on the way, by the way. When I tell people I got 3 kids under 6, they say, you know, one of the first things they ask me is, you getting any sleep? Come on, man. That's like asking someone in a wheelchair, you getting any exercise? Come on, man. No, I'm not getting any sleep, okay? Now, I probably am getting a little bit more sleep than other dads with young kids, but that's just because me and my wife have an arrangement. Our arrangement is if we hear a noise in the middle of the night and it's one of the kids, if we hear a noise in the middle of the night and it's an intruder, I get up, man of the house, you know? But if we hear a noise and it's one of the kids, she gets up. And we thought that was a great arrangement until one night we heard a noise and she was praying that it was an intruder. You know? She was hoping the buzz on her phone was the Ring alarm and not the baby monitor. Basically what I'm trying to say is she'd rather see an armed man in a hoodie at our front door than a toddler covered in pee at their bedroom door. So 3 kids under 6, and you know, it is tough. You know, give me the parents with young kids again. Let me see. Wow, only a few. Okay, we got some young kids here. Do you think that kids, do you think you'll go to a biker church when you get older? I'm just curious. Like, is there going to be bikers? All right, I was curious. I was wondering when I rolled up. But 3 kids under 6, and I wanted to ask about the parents because I feel like in our culture, parents of young kids, we don't get any respect. You know, we don't get the accolades that everybody else does. The accolades, they go to like the influencers, you know, the entrepreneurs, the hashtag rise and grind crowd. You know, those people on Instagram just flexing, 4 a.m. on the treadmill, hashtag Monday motivation. I'm dozing off on the toilet like hashtag sleep deprivation. The rise and grind crowd's on LinkedIn, networking with colleagues. I'm on Facebook Marketplace, networking with other parents. Like, if I come today, will you take the diaper genie for 15? The rise and grind crowd, you know, they're at happy hour, drinking their favorite drink, sucking on the straw. Work hard, play hard. I'm in the nursery for the 3rd time in a night, sucking on the boogie hose, like, trying to clear my infant sinuses. See, the parents know what I'm talking about, and everyone else is like, what? Boogie hose? Yes, it's what it sounds like. Scarier than the boogeyman, all right? So having kids is tough. You know, one of the things that made me realize that was when I realized that having young kids is a lot like being in college for me. You know, I'm broke, I'm sleep deprived, I'm surviving on coffee, and every now and then I wake up covered in vomit and just want to call my mom and cry, okay? It's a lot like college. And yeah, it can be tough. You know, I think some dads my age, you know, they seem to be doing both. They're doing the hashtag rise and grind and being a dad. And I'm like, something's off there, okay? You can't do both, okay? It's an oxymoron. I was talking to a guy the other day. Some of these dads are doing too much. He was like, yeah, you know, just got back from croc hunting in the Everglades last week. It's like, dude, what? I was like, I've been croc hunting for 2 weeks looking for my kid's left shoe. Okay, is that what you mean? He's like, yeah, you know, I'm just training, just doing some training because I just started doing jujitsu. Like, what, dude? Where are you getting the time, the energy, the will to live to do this as a dad? It's like, I got my daughter in an arm bar trying to get her to brush her teeth. Is that what you mean? He's like, yeah, you know, this spring I'm gonna be doing a triathlon. I was like, dude, I'm over here running through diapers, swimming in bills, and cycling through therapists, okay? So I don't know what kind of dad life you have, but that's where I'm at. And so, you know, being a dad is tough of young kids, but I will say, it's amazing. It's my favorite stage of life. I love being a dad. I love my kids. It's the best. Watching them grow up, you know, getting to put their little growing marks on the wall, reading them bedtime stories, getting to know their little personalities. And I'm sorry, but this one just gets me choked up every time, but like, getting to leave a party early? That's the best. Are you kidding me? Any event when you have young kids, you can leave whenever you want, okay? It's a built-in get out of jail free card. Now, your kid kind of has to be melting down a little bit for it to work, okay? So you might have to manufacture that a little bit, okay? Just a little bit, okay? I'm not a monster, okay? But I might lean over to my daughter and say, sweetie, we're gonna get rid of the dog. No! I'm so sorry. She's at her limit. It's been a long weekend. Thank you so much for having us. Wish we could stay longer. And we're gone, baby. There are benefits to having kids. You just got to tap into them, okay? It's more than the tax benefits. There's all kinds of benefits to having kids. But I think my favorite benefit to having a kid, having young kids, is embracing the dad bod, or what I like to refer to as the father figure. The daddy 30, if you will. You know, not the freshman 15, but the daddy 30. I've put on the daddy 30 over the past few years, and my wife's quick to point out that not all my dad friends have put on the daddy 30, and I just tell her they're just not as good of a dad as me, you know? They're not as committed to the role as me, that's all. And I want to stop here for a second because I did these jokes recently, and somebody came up to me after and said, "You're not fat." And I was like, first of all, thank you, okay? Second of all, you don't know me. Don't misslender me, okay? Okay, yeah, maybe I dropped a few pounds recently, but I still identify as fat, okay? My pronouns are lays, hers, okay? I have put on the Daddy 30. Yes, it fluctuates here and there, but I put on the Daddy 30. And Instagram's on to me. I hate it. Instagram knows somehow, you know? It's like I keep getting these ads that are like, here's 5 shirts that can make you look skinnier. A shirt guaranteed to hide your beer gut. I'm like, okay, A, how'd you know? Okay. B, that's fat shaming. And C, where do I put my credit card info? Because I'm always on the hunt for any shirt that'll not make me look like the Michelin Man, okay? My wife thinks I have too many shirts. You know, she's like, you got 100 shirts. We got to get rid of some of these shirts. And I'm like, babe, those are next summer's shirts. They're going to fit next summer. He knows. When I drop 15 pounds, that's when those shirts are going to fit. She's like, babe, it's been 8 years. Like, those shirts aren't even in style anymore. They're retro. It's time to cut bait. So I have put on the Daddy 30. I'm trying not to let myself go, though, you know? So I still go to the gym. I still try to exercise. I just have different goals than other people, you know? Like, I have a friend who's really fit. Like, he's so fit that you kind of hate him a little bit, honestly. Just a little bit, okay? I'm not a monster. I just wouldn't mind if he pulled something at CrossFit doing snatches tomorrow, is all I'm saying, okay? And he told me that his goal this year is to get down to 10% body fat. I said, bro, I'm just trying to get to the point where my newborn son doesn't try to latch when I hold him on the beach. Like, dude, if I could just get to the point where I don't need momentum to get out of my car, you know? Ugh. I got different goals than other people, you know? I've put on the Daddy 30. I'm trying to go to the gym. I'm not a gym rat, though, you know? I'm more like a gym sloth, you know? I'll hang around the gym. You'll see me here and there, you know? I give them my money. I'll show up here and there. I'm the kind of person that the gym rats hate. We got any people that are gym rats in here? You work out all the time? Good. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I knew that when he walked in. I was like, all right, if something pops off, my man's got us here. And then I saw a shirt that said, blessed are the bikers, for they will guard the gates of heaven. And I was like, that's my man right there. So yeah, I'm the kind of person the gym rats hate. You know, they hate me and my kind, you know. When we walk in, they're like, hey, Kyle, check it out. It's the New Year's resolution crowd. Here they are. They're going to come in, take up all the weights, take up all the space. Here they come. Yeah, here we come, Kyle. And you know what? We pay just as much as you do. We're keeping the lights on in this place. And in 2 weeks, we'll be out of your hair, okay? So take your little scissor-cut shirt that says, pain is weakness leaving the body, and your little pink drink, and get out of my way so I can casually stroll downhill on the treadmill eating a breakfast sandwich. Thank you very much. So parenting, you know, I got the dad bod, I got the father figure, and I think what you're catching me is you're catching me kind of in the middle of a midlife crisis here. Okay, I'm 35 years old. 35 is do we got anybody who's about 25 in here? Anybody? My man back there? It's hard to believe. All right, do we got anybody that's about 35 in here? All right. So 25 to 35 has been a tough transition for me. A lot changes. It's only 10 years, but a lot changes, you know? I went from nightclubs to Sam's Club, is what I'm saying, you know? I went from Jungle Juice to Jamba Juice. I went from let's go to let's go home. It's a tough transition, you know, and I think one of the biggest transition is, my bad, I got something going on here. One of the biggest transitions is what I wear, you know, how I look. Like back when I was 25, like I was dressed to impress, you know. I had a fresh haircut, you know, iron clothes, looking fresh. My wife, same thing, she was killing it. We had, you know, just put us on the runway, you know. But at 35, things are a lot different. You know, I came home from work last week, and 4 out of 5 days, my wife was in a bathrobe, okay? I was like, babe, you can't just be out here wearing bathrobes every day, okay? And she was like, she promptly got out her Bible and brought me to Revelation 7 and showed me that in Revelation 7, the people in heaven are dressed in white robes. I said, all right, babe, well, as long as we're here in the Shadowlands, let's put some clothes on, okay? And she said, you don't deserve me at my Proverbs 31 if you can't handle me in my Revelation 7. I said, dang. But I think, you're catching me at a time here. I'm doing some soul searching. Like, I put on the Daddy 30. I'm 35 now. And I think the biggest thing that I'm struggling with is, like, I'm finally coming to terms with the fact that I'm not cool anymore. And that's tough. Anybody remember that moment when you realized you weren't cool anymore? Look, I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. I mean, you could tell. It's kind of sad, Even with the haircut, it's like I went into the barber and they're like, all right, what are we doing? I'm like, give me the midlife crisis, please. Thank you. So, even my professions, I'm a youth pastor, a DJ, and a comedian. Is there a trifecta that says, please think I'm cool more than that? And as a DJ, I feel like that keeps me younger, that gives me a little more shelf life, as I'm hanging on to dear life, trying to stay cool. Being a DJ helps me out, because I know what's going on with the music scene. Like these young guys here, guys, I know what's going on with the music scene, I know Billie Eilish, I think he's great, Scissors, I know Scissors and, Ariana Grande, I know all these artists, okay? But being a DJ, it keeps me cool for a little longer, maybe. I think, I DJ all kinds of gigs, but I do a lot of weddings, and I've done weddings for all different kinds of cultures. I've done them all. I've done multiple-day Indian weddings, which are a lot of fun. What I love most about Indian weddings is the parents take care of like all the arrangements, like the playlist and the caterer and the timeline. Like they take care of all the bride and groom. They take care of all the arrangements. And when sometimes it's intimidating working with an Indian bride, especially if she's a stranger, like I don't know her. But then I realize the groom doesn't either, and I feel like we're good. Like that puts me at ease a little bit. I've done redneck weddings, where the Star Spangled Banner was the first dance, and there was 2 total names in the bridal party. I've done those, okay? I have done black weddings. I've done white weddings. I think what's tough is when it's a mixed wedding, Like maybe the bride is black, the groom is white, or vice versa. It's like, what do I do here? Am I going Elton John or Lil Jon here? Like, am I going Don't Stop Till You Get Enough or Don't Stop Believin'? Like when I play Party in the USA, all the white people come out to the dance floor, but then I play Party Up in Here and they all sit back down. Like, what do I do here, And when the black people are on the dance floor, they're just getting it, expressing themselves, killing it, chanting each other's names, making up dances. The white people are in the corner like, was there an Excel spreadsheet I missed here? Like, how do they all know what to do? This is crazy. And so I'm sitting there like, how do I keep everyone happy? I don't know how to do this. So I had to do what a DJ does. I had to make a mashup, so I hit him with that. Shawty had the apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. She hit the floor and the next thing you know, Shawty got low, 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 low. All right, I got fired after that one. That did not fly over well. So I'm a DJ. That still makes me cool. I'm trying to stay cool. I'm just trying to hang on for dear life. Okay, but so being a DJ helps me stay up with the new music, but being a youth pastor, that helps me because it helps me stay up on the new slang. If you want to stay cool, you got to stay up on the new vernacular. You know what I'm saying? No cap, right, my man? Yeah. He's shaking his head yes. If you guys can't see it, he's saying yes, sir. Yes, that's it. Yup. And so I do try to stay up on the new slang, and when it comes to the new slang, there's a couple things you got to know. And so if you didn't laugh tonight, at least maybe I'll give you some practical advice, okay? When it comes to the new slang, the minute a middle-aged white man starts to say it, it's time to start fading that one out, okay? Better yet, the minute a middle-aged white pastor starts to say it, it's time to let that one rest in peace, okay? I heard a pastor the other day say, yeah, man, last Sunday's service was lit. And we're done with lit, okay. Like, we are done with lit. Like if a birthday cake comes in, I will refer to its candles as illuminated from now on. The candles are on. But the other thing you gotta watch out for is people my age, you know. I'm 35, okay? I'm kind of stuck in the middle here, you know? I'm not young and cool, but I'm also not an old boomer. You know, it's like I'm listening to Post Malone, but like on the way to the post office, you know? I'm caught in the middle, and what I notice people my age are doing, like, they're using the cool slang, but about stuff that's not cool, you know? They'll be like, bruh, that quinoa salad was bussin'. Nah, it was mid. It was mid. The kale chips high-key slapped, though. Be like, yo, bruh, ever since I got that nebulizer and sound machine, sleep has been hitting different. What? They don't have any gluten-free options? That's sus, bro. Listen. Steve, are you gonna be at that pickleball tournament next week? All right, bet. Listen, Tyler, I have IBS too. Listen, I get it. Listen, you gotta get the Pepto-Bismol Ultra. You gotta get the Pepto-Bismol Ultra. Trust me, it's gas. Sorry, no. Sorry, it's not gas. It's not gas. It's fire. No, do you know what, Tyler? It's superb. Go with the Pepto-Bismol Ultra. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Gabe Mahalik. It's been a lot of fun being with you guys here. I'm glad I could open things up. The next comedian that we're bringing up is a guy I have done comedy with before, and he's done comedy all over the country, at clubs, at churches, at all kinds of places. He's a very funny guy. Let's welcome Ryan Rowe.
What's up, Freedom Biker Church? How we doing? All right. This is cool. I'm from Philly, and I told my friend today I was doing a show in Delaware, and he's like, oh, Delaware. And I was like, well, not that Delaware. Not the Delaware you're thinking of. No. I actually did a show for you guys, I think like 5 years ago. It was great. Me and Al, we had an awesome time. This building is different, for sure. I gotta say, this is the first church that I was expecting to get carded at, and didn't even want to see a fake. Okay. No, it's good to be here. A little bit about me. I'm really into the sport of curling. You guys know what that is? Yeah. So basically, you take a large rock, and you slide it down a long sheet of ice. And if you land it right on the bullseye, you're still not an athlete. I don't know if you saw, at the last Winter Olympics, a Russian curler got caught using steroids. And we as a curling community all asked, why? Like, there's no strength involved. Like, using steroids in curling is just as effective as using Diet Dr. Pepper in curling. Like, there's no difference there. But you meet some interesting people in the curling community. Like, I met this guy named Matt. Matt has a gold medal in curling. And he's an Xfinity technician in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. The same guy that has a gold medal is also the guy that shows up at your house sometime between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., plugs in your cable box, and mansplains the remote to you. That's the life of a gold medalist. Can you imagine the icebreaker that guy has? He's like, so your current cable package includes Stars Channel, Showtime, and the Olympic Channel. You ever been to the Olympics? No? Oh, you're missing out. It's tough, though, seeing so many people lose. It's really... Oh, sorry, I totally forgot I was wearing my gold medal. What sport is it in? It's kind of like a chess on ice kind of thing. It requires a lot of strategy and accuracy. Is it curling? Yeah, it's curling. I'm into sports. I gotta brag for a second. Last weekend, I ran a half marathon for the very first time. Ah, thank you. Anyone here ever ran a half marathon? No? One, ma'am? Great. Okay, yeah, I mean, then I guess that confirms it. I'm definitively better than 99% of the room. That feels good. I ran the race. It was hard, but I did it, and I got one of those like participation medals at the end, which always feels weird because like I'm from the trophy generation. That's me. I got tons of participation trophies as a kid, and like for example, I played basketball in a church league with my brother, and every kid had to get an award. So my brother got the award for MVP of the league. I got the award for most Christ-like. Because I don't know if you knew this, but Jesus sucked at basketball. Yeah, I got a lot of participation trophies as a kid, and a lot of older people are like, these participation kids, they're just, they're getting spoiled. And it's like, sure, but also, you gave us the trophies. Like, this was not a personal passion project of ours. I did not go up to the t-ball coach like, listen, coach, I get it. This was not our year. But me and the guys, we saw the trophies the winners got, and me and the guys got to talking, and we just think showing up is half the battle, right? No. I got a mustache since the last time I was here. That's cool. We got a lot of facial hair in this room. Yeah? For the fellows in the room that don't have facial hair, singleness is just a season. Don't worry. But I feel like since I've grown the mustache, one thing that happens a lot is a lot of guys see me and they instantly go, he wants to hear my golf story. And I don't. I couldn't care less. It's like, they're so unremarkable. It's amazing. Some of you guys, as soon as I walked on stage, you were like, I'm going to tell him after the show. He wants to know about the par 5. No. Like, every single golf story I hear is the most unremarkable thing. It's like, if you've heard one golf story, you've heard 0 golf stories. It's... All right, that was a new one. Thanks for sticking with me on that one. Another thing about me, I'm the 3rd child in my family, which I think has pros and cons. Like, a pro of being the 3rd child is that there's no pressure on you at all. Like, my brother has 3 kids. When he had his first kid, he announced it to our family, not kidding, via live television. He announced to us that he had his 3rd kid via group text. Like, this was me finding out that I had a new nephew. I was like, LOL, So, no pressure on the 3rd kid. The con of being the 3rd kid is that there's no photographic evidence that you had a childhood. Like, there's tons of photos of the 1st kid, and there's tons of photos of the 1st and the 2nd kid together. And then by the 3rd kid, they're just like, film's expensive. And it's like, but Mom, we have a digital camera. And she's like, yeah, Ryan, we're just gonna remember it if that's cool. There's very few photos of me as a kid. There's only one video of me. I didn't find it until I was 18. It's on a VHS tape, and half of it is taped over by an episode of Days of Our Lives. It's very weird. It's like, here's Ryan. He's standing up. He's standing. I didn't murder your husband. I'm not actually the youngest in my family, though. I have a younger sister who was adopted from Ohio when she was like 4 days old. And it's actually kind of weird right now just because we only recently told her about it. And yeah, it was, obviously she was devastated to find out that she was from Ohio. She always knew she was adopted. We just couldn't bear to tell her where from. But, you know, I give it up for my parents. They got the call, and they were like, there's a little girl in Ohio. And they were like, great, let's get her out of there. But one weird thing that my parents did with us is my sister and I were only allowed to watch one movie, and that was the movie Annie, the musical about the orphan. And it wasn't at all because my parents were like, oh, movies are inappropriate. I think it's because they thought that if my sister watched Annie enough, she'd be more like down with being adopted. And I don't think it took. I think if anything, it just made my sister think like, are these people about to give me up for adoption? My sister, she's cool. She can be very emotional at times. Like I remember a time she got really angry, so she punched a hole in our wall like it was paper. Yeah, like it was scary. She could have broken her hand on a 2x4 or something. I mean, granted, it would have been weird if she was like using a stud finder first, but still, that's a gamble. But my brother, he had a great idea because he thought we should frame the hole. And I don't mean like cover it up with a picture frame. I mean, we bought a picture frame, we took out the glass in the back, and the stock photo of the perfect family, which felt like a metaphor, and then we framed the hole to remember it to this day. And actually, we bought 2 picture frames because we thought as soon as she finds the first one, she's probably gonna punch a second hole. So we gotta be prepped for that. I get emotions sometimes. I'm in therapy. That's been cool. We a therapy crowd? No? All right. See ya. I'm gonna call my therapist, talk about all of you. No, therapy's cool. You gotta find one that works for you though. Like for instance, I didn't really get along with my first therapist great because he kept trying to sell me his paintings. It was very weird. Like I'd be sitting there and he would have all his paintings on the wall behind him, and anytime I looked at one, he'd be like, I see you checking that one out. What do you see in that one? And I'm like, well, I see that you named it Generosity and you priced it at $600. So I don't know if you're a therapist moonlighting as an artist or the other way around, but either way, you don't take insurance. So let's part as friends. But the next guy was great. He would ask me great questions. Like, he'd be like, Ryan, what are the things you think about? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm a comedian. I like to think of weird situations. And he says, like what? And I said, well, for instance, the other day, I was thinking that we should be glad that God made our rear end vertical because if it was horizontal, every time we went down a slide, it would go. Yeah, and then he wrote a lot in his notepad, and that was scary. But one thing you learn in therapy is that if there's something that brings you a lot of anxiety, you can probably trace it back to an original starter of that anxiety. For instance, I don't do well on airplanes ever since I took a cross-country flight on Spirit Airlines. Yeah. For those of you who aren't familiar, Spirit Airlines, they're like, we're a real airline in spirit. They're like, we'll get you there safely in theory. I took a cross-country flight from Philadelphia to Los Angeles for, not joking, $50. And I got exactly what I paid for. this plane that you're on is so old and the turbulence is so bad that you're convinced the whole thing is just made out of balsa wood and horse glue. It's like they found the model that the Wright brothers made, and they were like, this is perfect, don't change anything. Even the flight attendant who's doing the safety talk is like, in case of a water landing, the exits are there, and we recommend you take them before we take off. And you're like, don't you mean the bathrooms? And they're like, no, we mean now. I took this cross-country flight, and it was so bad that I felt traumatized when I landed, so badly that I thought, maybe I should go see a therapist. And that's how I met the paintings guy. So, I also recently, I got a haircut, which is nice. You can clap for that. I know it looks great. Thanks. Thanks. No, I got a haircut, and I had probably the most awkward interaction that I've ever had with someone before. I went to a place called Sports Clips, which you feel me. Do you go to Sports Clips, sir? No, of course you don't. Okay, yeah. I go to the Sports Clips for the same reason anyone goes to Sports Clips, which is I like sports, and I have no idea where to get a haircut. So I go to Sports Clips, and you know how barbers are. A lot of times they ask you just dumb questions. They're all like, what are we doing tonight? What are we getting into? And you're like, I don't know, it's Wednesday at 4. What am I supposed to be getting into? But this one didn't ask me that. They asked me something very specific. She asked me, were you just in Lynchburg? And I go, yeah, just last weekend. And she goes, okay. And then we didn't talk the rest of the haircut. And it wasn't until afterwards that I realized what she actually asked me was, were you just on your lunch break? So just to recap, this innocent woman asked me, were you just on your lunch break? And I said, yeah, just last weekend. And then it was silence for 30 minutes. I have not stopped thinking about that ever since. And if I can't stop thinking about that, she definitely cannot stop thinking about it. I did something kind of weird this week. I made a bit of an impulse purchase. I bought a lot of hot dogs. I bought 24 hot dogs. Just 24 hot dogs, 24 buns to the counter, nothing else. And even the guy at the counter was like, hot dog party tonight, yes. I was like, yeah, party one. This was Trader Joe's, so they all sound like that. But the only reason I bought 24 hot dogs was that they only sell hot dogs in packs of 6, and they sell hot dog buns in packs of 8. So, I crunched the numbers. I had to get 24 hot dogs. But now looking back on that, I'm thinking, like, I'm really lucky they didn't package them in prime numbers. Can you imagine if they only made hot dogs in packs of 7 and hot dog buns in packs of 11? I'd have no choice but to buy 77 hot dogs. But yeah, that was my week. Pretty chill last couple weeks for the country, really, right? Am I right? No, you can definitely tell who I voted for by looking at my car. It's a brown Subaru. But no, I gotta say, I actually liked both candidates because, I gotta say, here's the thing. This was the first election that I experienced where both candidates took time out of their day to text me all day long. There's something special about that, right? I mean, I don't know if they texted you guys. Probably not. I feel like they couldn't have been texting us both, but the only weird thing that happened on election day for me was at my polling place, anytime someone came in who was voting for the first time, they would announce it to the whole building. They'd be like, "We got a first-time voter." And it's like, that's gotta stop. That can't happen anymore. That feels like when you're at Red Robin and you hear someone yell out, "We got a birthday in the house." And it's like, that was confidential, actually. Please don't spread that information. I've been dating recently. That's been fun. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for the golf clap. I deserve that, don't I? No, it's cool. The best part about dating is that you get all sorts of fun, unsolicited advice from your friends. I love getting advice that I never asked for. For instance, my brother, he'll be like, "Yeah, Ryan, man, you just gotta put yourself out there more." And it's like, dude, you literally met your girlfriend on Xbox. Like, please don't lecture me about that. My brother also said to me, he's like, "Ryan, whatever you do, don't let her meet your attractive friends." Which is really the nicest way to tell someone they're ugly. I mean, it's like, actually, that was kind of a non-issue, but thanks, bro. Luckily for me, every woman that I've dated has found all of my friends to be utterly disgusting, so I think I'm in the clear. But, like recently, I went on a date with someone, and she had a broken ankle, and she lived on a third-story walk-up. So she just invited me over to just have some snacks and watch TV. And when I got there, first thing out of my mouth was, "Wow, you're just like the hunchback stuck in the bell tower." Yeah. She goes, "The hunchback?" And I'm like, "Well, just the stuck part." And she goes, "Why didn't you say Rapunzel?" And I'm like, wrong literary reference. No, the fun part about dating someone as a comedian is that you go on these dates and people tell you things, and then they say, "You're not going to use that in your act, are you?" And I go, "Ha." So this other girl I went out with, I went out with this girl who was a dentist for a little bit, and that was a red flag, honestly. To me, I gotta say, I don't have many stances, but to me, dentistry is organized crime. First of all, if only 9 out of every 10 dentists can agree on anything, maybe that one dentist knows something that we don't, right? That one brave dentist is just like, "I will not play your games. I will not peddle your lies." If you go to any grocery store, just go to the toothpaste aisle. They have 1,000 different names for white. It's like crystal white, brightening white, charcoal white, because charcoal is white. No, so she was telling me about this, but she did tell me one weird story. She said that the reason she was inspired to become a dentist was that when she was a kid, she had this jaw deformity. And so her mom told her that she was just going to the dentist for a checkup. And then when she got there, they put her under. And then when she woke up, they had done full jaw surgery on her. Now, I personally hate pranks. But that is the most elaborate prank I've ever heard of. That was wild. Most recently, I dated a nurse. That was fun. I saw on her dating profile that she was a nurse, and I was like, that's perfect because I am deeply unhealthy. I've had 6 hot dogs in the last 24 hours. A nurse would be great. But she told me that she once had a patient who actually inhaled a hot dog into his lung. I know. And I was like, oh, thank God she didn't recognize me. You guys have been fun. I'm Ryan Rowe. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night.
Kevin, on? Check. All right. Let's give it up for Gabe Mahalik and Ryan Rowe. How's it going, everybody? Man, you guys have packed the house, man. Pastor John's out there flipping dogs all day. Maybe keep him busy. But our propane tank took a crap on us, and we decided to go MacGyver, and we dumped the whole thing of charcoal in it and lit it on fire, and it worked. So, get her done. So, hey, look, man, we got a couple door prizes. Who has not gotten a blue ticket? Raise your hand and keep it up. Oh, right here in front. I need more. There you go. Look, perfect. 5 of them right there. Keep your hand up. We're going to give them out to you. So while we're doing that, I'm going to invite Nicole from Door of Hope up here to talk about tonight's fundraiser. Oh, my gosh, she snuck right up.
Hello, all. Thank you. Oh. Thank you. I'm not going to tell any jokes, don't worry. Thanks so much for coming out tonight. Thanks to our awesome comedians. What great sets so far. A Door of Hope, as you may know, we're a pregnancy care center here in Delaware. We have centers in Wilmington and in Middletown, and we help women that are facing unplanned pregnancies make decisions about their pregnancies. We offer free ultrasounds, free pregnancy tests, a free mentorship program called the Hope Program, where families can learn educational lessons about how to parent, about finances, all sorts of good skills that they can acquire, and then they earn points to get necessary items like diapers and strollers and clothes and all of that. And I'm sure you guys know that because I know Freedom has many times donated boxes and boxes of diapers and wipes to us. So I just want to thank you so much for your support. We can't do what we do without communities like you, and we're so grateful for partners like Freedom Biker Church. So thank you so much.
All right, let's give it up for Nicole and all she's doing for Door of Hope. You can check out more information online. There is a bucket right here. Now anybody else did not get a blue ticket? Raise your hand. Blue ticket. Blue ticket. Carol got one, yeah. Don't go nowhere. We got the main act coming up, guys. What? All right, everybody, give me those tickets back. Give me that. Give me that. This goes in the bucket. I need new ones. You're fired. He had no idea he was doing this. But yeah, so there's a donation bucket. We don't have to pass it around, guys, but if you feel led to help this organization out, please put something in that bucket. There's a scan code on there that you can do to donate as well. 100% of everything we raise tonight, including the register, goes to the Door of Hope. This church will not keep a dime of it. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, no doubt. So so now we got some new tickets up here. Here we go. Thank you, Doug, sir. Appreciate you. Now that he actually got the right information. All right, now who has the tickets here? Here we go. Now we got new tickets. Everybody get one yet? Everybody get a blue ticket? Blue ticket? Did you get one, sir? Here, you can have one too. That might be the winning ticket. Who knows? Who else? Who needs a blue ticket? We got 3 giveaways. Everybody got a ticket? Yeah. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Here, make sure they get a ticket there, Dan. And then, yeah, they're already in the tote. Right? They go in the tote? All right. All right. Young man, you want to come pick a ticket for me? Oh, wait, not me. You sure? Here, I'll come over to you. How about that? Pick one out for me. Matter of fact, pick out 3 tickets for me. There's 1. 2 more, sir. 1 more, sir. All right. Let's get up for my little helper there. All right. We got Vanna White right here. How's it going, Vanna? All right, here we go. 679-072. 679-072. Tyler, you want to turn the lights on a little bit so these guys can see? We got a winner. We'll let him choose it, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, how about that? You can take your choice. We've got a Freedom Biker Church book bag, and a flag, a hat, and a drink thingamajigger, and a Door of Hope basket. There you go. Wait a minute, just let me check your number first. Let's see if you did. Sure, she won. All right. Oh, that's great, man. You guys are awesome. All right, here we go. 679-042. Winner, chicken dinner right out back there. All right, we got 1 left. 679-073. Hey, there we go. Well, I was going to say, a Door of Hope basket for this young lady right here. Yeah, you get both. Yes, sir. Yeah, just don't smack her in the face. I mean, you'll be all right. All right. Thanks, everybody. That concludes tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Are you guys ready for the main act? I don't think so, Al. That wasn't loud enough. You guys ready? Come on. All right, without further ado, here comes Al Smith.
I don't know if you've ever had your own walk-in music, but you got to get you some. That is the way to go. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. Get yourself some walk-in music. Tyler, hit me up again. So we're going to look at these quarterly numbers today. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. Get yourself some walk-in music. Tyler, hit me up again. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Okay, maybe it doesn't work everywhere, but we're good. We're good. Freedom Biker Church. How many people were here when we were here 6 years ago? All right, excellent. One dude. All right. Look, Mike, I'm going to do all the same jokes, so you might as well laugh. We already got your donation, brother. So this is good. It's fun to be here at Freedom Biker Church. I love it. I actually have some of my church family here tonight. Woo! We're a church plant in Northeast Philadelphia, Audacious Hope Church. Don't ask me how to spell it. Not going to do that. So, yeah, they came all the way down here from Northeast Philly to support Door Hope, so I'm grateful for them. We have an unusual pastoral staff, right? One of our pastors is from India. The other one's from Alabama, so we get all of our pastors from strange places. Yeah. Problem is I have no idea what either of them are saying. I call my mom every Sunday, and she's like, "What'd the pastor preach on today?" Don't know. Not a clue. Well, you need to pay attention. I did. It's it's weird, man. Our pastor from India, right? How bad do we have it in the USA that India is sending pastors to us? That's not a good sign, people. We need to step it up. And we got a pastor from Alabama. So if you guys could pray for Pastor Joe, he's from Alabama. He is struggling with a little bit of culture shock. He is not used to pastoring a church where everybody can read. So if we can do that, yeah. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm kind of waiting to receive some sort of church discipline just to hear Pastor Freddie go, "You're a very, very bad man." Very, very bad man. Very, very bad man. Pastor Freddie, did you see this thing? This is the lectern, motorcycle lectern. We're gonna build you one, but it's gonna be a Vespa. And there's gonna be 7 other Indian dudes hanging on to it. That church discipline's coming tomorrow. Oh. But yeah, man, it's fun to be here. Where are we at? Newark, Delaware? Newark, Delaware. The gateway to slower, lower. Don't act like you don't know. You've been there, you know. You live there. It's all right. I'll slow down for you, sir. It's okay. If you have not been to slower, lower, Pastor Joe would feel right at home there. Just like Alabama. Oh, this is good. I do get to travel all over the country, man, and do this, and I really enjoy it. I was recently in Bardstown, Kentucky. And if you ever get the chance to visit Bardstown, Kentucky, you're just going to go ahead and skip that. Just go right past that. It is a teeny tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. You want to know how small of a town it is? The center of town has a Family Dollar, a police station, and a library, all in the same building. Yeah, the people of Bardstown, Kentucky were very offended by that joke when I explained to them what a library was. It was a struggle, man. Struggle mostly because we had a language barrier, and me and Joe are struggling with the same thing. We don't speak the same language. You know, in Bardstown, they say use. And in Philly, right? No, I'm sorry. Let me start that joke over again. Take notes, I messed that up. So in Bardstown, they say y'all. And in Philly, we say use, right? In Bardstown, they say cousin. And in Philly, we say cuz, right? In Bardstown, they say cousin. And in Philly, we say wife. Joe's not laughing. He knows. He knows. Hey, Ryan, do me a favor. Could you bring me a bottle of water? I appreciate you, man. Ryan is, no, I got it. Thanks. I don't know what you did to that water, man. Thanks, dude. Appreciate you. Ryan's actually being very humble. He was actually on an episode of Young Sheldon. Yeah. Right? For obvious reasons, they didn't cast him as a genius. Love you, buddy. I do go all over the place, and I like making fun of other towns, but look, I'm from Philly, and let's just be honest. It's kind of lacking, right? I mean, what are our greatest tourist attractions? You know, we have a greasy sandwich, a cracked bell, and a fictional boxer. That's what we're working with. I'm sorry, I say something wrong? I walked 2. Big Rocky fans, man. Yeah, but I'm born and raised in Philly. I'm a big Eagles fan. We got a guy here. Got some Eagles fans? Yeah. Let's go. We're having a good season this season, right? We won a Super Bowl a couple of years back. That was great. That was excellent. I was actually at a friend's house. My wife and my boys, we went to a friend's house to watch the game. Man, I tell you, when that clock went down to triple zeros, boy, I was crying my eyes out. I was, man, and I cried all the way out to the car, and I cried all the way home. And my wife was like, "You didn't cry this much when we had kids." Yeah, I didn't want them this much. I mean, I want them this much now. But let's face it, I waited like 45 years for a Super Bowl I never thought was coming. I waited 9 months for them. It was pretty much a sure thing. And my wife was like, "How can you say that? They're in the back seat of the car." And my son pipes up with, "No, I kind of get it." He understands, man. This is nice. This is a nice place. I hear that. Hold on. You can tell he's from Slower Lower. He spilled it all over himself. What was I talking about? I don't even remember. Oh, this place. This is nice. This used to be a bar, I'm told. Biker bar, too. Yeah, that's amazing because some of them still might wander in once in a while and be like, "What's going on?" Yeah. Well, what's going on is you about to get saved, son. Sit down. And I love this. They told me that this was made out of the bar that was here. Right? Look, just focus on this for a second. Can you think of a greater symbol of sanctification than what's on this wall right here? Right? They took what the Lord intended, or what the Lord took what was intended for evil and turned it into something good. And now I'm going to make fun of it. Anyway, no, it's all good. So I grew up in Philly, born and raised in Philly. I'm very proud of it. Let's go. What neighborhood? All right. I grew up in Fishtown, Kensington. I grew up in a Polish neighborhood. Right? Grew up. All right. Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to yell at random food items? We can. Don't yell out hot dogs. Ryan will get all excited. Don't do that. I grew up in a Polish neighborhood in Philly, right? And I grew up just thinking we were Polish. We celebrated all the Polish holidays. We ate pierogies. We did all this stuff, right? We did all this stuff, This neighborhood was so Polish. You know how the kids used to throw their sneakers up on the wire? I watched the kid for 45 minutes trying to throw his sneakers on the wire before I was like, "Yo, you got to take those off first." That's how Polish this neighborhood was. So I grew up thinking we were Polish, but a couple of years ago, I took one of those 23andMe DNA surveys. I'm not Polish at all. I'm 43% British. So overnight, I went from being a complete moron to being better than all of you. Not all the way better, just 43% better. I started taking that seriously, man. I'm like, I'm British. I started investing in all of the famous British pastimes. I started watching soccer. I started drinking tea. I started claiming land that didn't belong to me. My neighbor still has no idea I annexed his front yard. It's all good. The problem with being British, though, our food is terrible. Terrible. Everybody know what the most famous British dish is? Fish and chips. Woo! We learned how to deep fry some stuff. That's terrible. You know what the second most famous dish is? Bangers and mash. Bangers and mash. For those of you who don't know, it's sausages on top of a pile of mashed potatoes. That's terrible. No wonder the Germans kept attacking them. They were like, "Have you seen what they're doing with the sausages?" All right, I have to look at my notes. You guys are going to have to forgive me. I have to look at my notes, okay? I had an incident in college that created some memory issues for me, and it just doesn't work the way it used to. And the incident was I had my face repeatedly slammed into a bong. Anybody else have that problem? Anybody? Is that just me? It's just me. Okay. So I can't remember my own jokes, but I got old Bob Marley lyrics down. Everybody relax. Everybody relax. Hey, you doing all right? Everything come out okay? All right, good. That's a weed joke. It's a joke. But there are lots of people here who have a story before Jesus, right? And that's part of my story. I just can't remember most of it. So it's all good. It's all good. All right, so where was I going to go? All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of a left-hand turn here. So I was here a while ago, right? And right now at my home, I have on my dresser, I have a biometric safe, right? It's one of those things you put your finger in it and the door opens up. In that safe, I have a couple of long-distance Second Amendment hole punchers, if you know what I mean. I also have my original wedding ring, because apparently your hands can get fat too. But the only other thing I keep in my safe is this. This is my poker chip that you guys gave me the first time I was here. And for those of you who are not familiar with the culture, when bikers give you a poker chip, it's essentially saying you are one of us, right? And I never forgot that, Mike. I never forgot when you gave me this. And I take it out every once in a while, man, and I tell my wife how much of an honor this was to have received this thing. And I tell her how much it makes me happy, right? And she still won't let me get a motorcycle. So what I'm asking, you got anything stronger? Can I get a letter of recommendation or something? Look, I got the chip, I got the tattoos, Led Zeppelin 4 is my favorite record. Like, I'm basically in. All in. All right, we're going to be praying for my wife before we leave here. We're going to make that happen. Oh, yeah. So where did I want to go next? So I love doing comedy in churches, man. A lot of people think you can't have fun in church, and we are proving them wrong tonight, are we not? However, if you want to have fun normally in church, you're going to have to work for it a little bit, right? So this is my suggestion. Tomorrow, get to church about 10, maybe 15 minutes early, and purposefully sit in somebody else's seat. And then just watch the door and wait for them to come in, because they don't know what to do with themselves. They'll just be walking up, hey, sis, what's going on, brother? What is going on here? And then they'll be looking at the pastor like he's a bouncer, like, you gonna do something about that? Again, I'm looking forward to church discipline, is what I'm saying. I goof around too much. Churches are fun, man. Churches are great. For all the things that divide us, there's a lot of things that are alike in every church, no matter what the denomination, right? And the one thing in particular that I'm talking about is every church in America, in the world, has that one lady who is going to hug everybody. As I said that, everybody in here just pictured their church huggy lady. You know who you are. Mine's right there. She's eyeballing me. She knows. The problem is that lady does not know I'm not fond of that particular ministry. But you know when it's your turn, because she starts from about 4 pews back. And then she makes eye contact. No! No! She she clasps onto you like some kind of octopus and does not have any idea that you don't want to be hugged, and it should be really obvious because when she hugs me, it looks like I've been tased. Just. I don't like it. And let's clear the air right now before anybody thinks they're going to come up to me after this show and think they're going to cure me of my hugging fear. No. No, you're not. However, if you'd like to cure me of my fear of $20 bills, that would be great. Oh. All right. You doing all right, buddy? Having a good time? Did you bring enough candy for the whole room? That's messed up. My dude from Slower Lower needs some sugar. Oh. All right. So I recently turned 50. Thank you. I can assure you I have done the minimum to get here. 50 is great though, man. It's like this magical time, right? It's just, you're 50, you know, 50. Like, I have friends who will come to me and they'll be like, hey, you want to go skiing? Yeah, I'm 50. Those same friends will come to me and be like, can you help us move? Nah, I'm 50. That's not going to work. Got a foot in both camps. Like, I could pull off a leather jacket, but leather pants, not so much. Nope. You know, like I can wear these blue suede kicks. I can wear these blue suede Pumas, but you know full well there's arch support in these bad boys. That's what 50 is about. And as you grow older in your 50s, men, you, as you grow older in your 50s, you become more and more delusional. How do I know? Because last night, a 58-year-old boxer Look, man, look, Jake Paul is a clown, but that dude's also a monster. So, but we're all like that. We all think we can do things we can't. You know? We heard about that fight and went, yeah, I'd whoop up on a 27-year-old. No, you would not. That's not going to happen. You're not going to be training for this boxing thing. Yeah, most of us, we get winded going up a flight of escalator. I'm not doing that. But we're delusional. We still swear we can do things we can't. You know? Like, I will sit on my couch every Sunday watching football, and I will swear I can do their job better than them. Right? I'll just be yelling at the TV, what are you doing? I would have gotten that first down. Son, help me up off the couch. I need a snack. We're delusional, man. I wouldn't even make it through practice. I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. Have you ever seen these things where these guys are doing wind sprints with a parachute tied to their back? Yeah, the first time I saw that, I'm like, oh, I am doing that. Until I realized I don't run nearly fast enough to get that bad boy to inflate. I would just be dragging it behind me like Will Smith in Independence Day, dragging an alien through the desert. So what else? So I'm married for now. Had to see how that motorcycle thing works out today. So yeah, my wife and I, we've been married almost 30 years. Yeah. In a row, which is the trick. Slower, is this your wife right here? No? Friend? Okay. My man, there's like 4 pastors in the room if you need to get this done tonight. Just saying. I'm killing it for you, dude. So, no, good on you. No, good. I mean, you could have done better, but other than that, it's all good. And he can communicate and stuff? Wow. You're a transplant to lower, aren't you? There you go. Now it makes sense. All right. All right. So you guys are married? Okay. How long you been married? Whoa! Give it up for that. New love. My man, what's your name? Steve. Steve, do you and your bride ever struggle with communication problems? Yeah. What you didn't see was Steve was deer in the headlights. In 2.5 years, Steve has learned to pause to allow her to answer. That's my man. You should teach a class on that. Yeah. My wife and I, we struggle with communication problems, just like everybody else. Namely that she communicates and I'm a problem. It's okay. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Did you guys go through premarital counseling? Yeah, let's go do that. Ryan, when somebody finally agrees to marry you, premarital counseling. Okay, do that. I'm telling you, you will learn a lot. You know, our pastor taught us to say divorce is not an option. You know, and it's great because that's how I know when I'm in trouble. When I come home and she's just wandering around the house going, divorce is not an option. Divorce is not an option. I know I'm in real trouble when I find her wandering around the house going, a hitman is not an option. I mean, it is a bona fide miracle I'm married in the first place. When I was a younger man, I had no game with the ladies. None. No game at all. Unless you count Dungeons and Dragons, and that was probably part of the problem. Sorry, I'm already married. I had no game. I wish I was making this up. I wish I was making this up. I asked a girl out in college by asking her, so, do you eat? Do you eat? I basically asked another person, do you participate in the minimum daily requirements to sustain life? Is that something you'd like to do with me? I'm glad she said no. What would we have done for a second date? Go somewhere and stay well hydrated? Like, you all right with that phone? Okay. Your credit cards are on the back of it. Do you want to show everybody? No? Okay. I did in college at least a couple of times, but one time I convinced a girl to go out with me, and because I am a hopeless romantic, I took her to see the movie Schindler's List. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. The problem with that is when I'm on a date and I get nervous, I have a tendency to giggle. Oh, yeah, I giggled my way through Schindler's List, boy. So right now there's a 50-year-old lady telling her grandkids that she went on a date with a serial killer. My wife and I, we have 2 lovely boys, 2 sons. They are 11 months apart. You know, they call that Irish twins because our children drink a lot. That's a joke. Pastor Freddie, that's a joke. My wife and I are good parents. Our kids drink in moderation. Yeah, I try to connect with my kids, but, you know, I don't know what teenagers are into. I don't know. And why would I? I didn't know what teenagers were into when I was one. You know, but I do the best I can. You know, like we connect over comic book stuff and Star Wars. Got any Star Wars fans in here? All right. The rest of you, this joke is not for you. Yeah, man, we like to watch the Star Wars franchises. We really get into it. And then I have this pastor friend of mine who is against Star Wars. Yeah, quite frankly, I find his lack of faith disturbing. all the nerds in here are going to repeat that joke. But I had to ask him, I'm like, why would you be against Star Wars? And he said, well, I just want to make sure my kids grow up with a strong biblical foundation. And I'm like, so do I. But I want them to know if they get out of hand, they're getting force choked for sure. I don't have the force, lucky for them. But it doesn't stop me from trying. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I came in, plopped on the couch, and the remote control was on the other side of the room. So I was like, eventually, my son got frustrated, got up and threw me the remote. I was like, ha ha ha, Jedi mind trick. I'm raising some video game junkies. Anybody else doing that? Okay, a couple of you. The rest of you, what? Your kids go outside and talk to people and stuff? Is that what happens? Okay. No, I mean, I want to bond with them over that. You guys want to talk? Are you heckling me, kid? What's up? Slower, he looks scared, man. You guys play video games? No? There's only one answer. Okay, you say yes. Are these your brothers? He's your brother? And you don't play video games? Not anymore. What, are you reformed? How did you break away? Did they send you to a camp? Like, what happened? And who's this kid? You don't know? He just wandered in? What kind of biker / church bar is this? Okay. All right. What's your game, man? What do you play? What do you mean? You just said you play video games, dude. Do you speak it English? We all on the same page? All right. What game does he play? Madden? That's a grown-up game. Look at you. All right, relax. You know, there's real football you can watch. I wanted to play video games with my kids, I really did. But I couldn't, right? Because I grew up in the Atari generation. Right? So that controller you guys have, it's like 4,500 buttons. And I can't do this. You know what, you remember the Atari controller? It was just a glorious box with a joystick and a red button that did nothing. And we liked it. You know, these kids today, they're trying to save whole alien worlds. We were trying to get a frog across the street. You know, they're playing in their 3D multi-level sandbox games, and we were trying to save a princess from a gorilla who for some reason really hated the plumber. The games when we were kids make no sense. Donkey Kong? Who puts all those barrels at the top of a construction site? That's an OSHA violation. But I wanted to bond with my kids, so I'm like, all right, let's do it. You know, I told my son, okay, set it up, and we're going to shoot alien zombie robots or whatever you guys are into. And he sets it up, and I'm like, okay, I got this. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I got this. And then I'm like, I am crushing it. And my son goes, yeah, Dad, that one is me. I just look over at my guy. He's standing in the corner, stabbing a wall. I can't. Can't do it. All right. Where did this guy go? Okay. There was a dude down here earlier who was wearing a hat that I swear it said CIA, and now he's not here. So I was a little concerned. I was like, sir, all those things I said about Camelot, I didn't mean it. I did. Oh, we're where else did I want to go tonight? So my kids and I, we grew up very differently. I grew up in inner city Philadelphia in the 70s, and I was blessed to be able to have them raised in the suburbs stuff, but they did not understand at all the way I grew up. Even when I tried to explain it to them, they just couldn't wrap their mind around it because we were extremely poor growing up. I mean, extremely poor, And so when I try to explain to my kids, like around holiday times, what it was like at Christmas time, and like not presents. My parents always had gifts for us, right? Because they had things like the Salvation Army and Toys for Tots and shoplifting. That's a joke. It's a joke. My parents never went to the Salvation Army. It was different growing up like that, man. I hated going back to school after the holidays. I hated it because all the kids would be bragging about what they got. It's like, I got a bike, or I got a Stretch Armstrong. And I was like, yeah, I got a guitar made out of a cigar box and rubber bands. I was awesome on that thing. I was like the Peter Frampton of cigar box guitar. Just jamming like, do you feel like I do? Probably not, because you got shoes. It's a joke, slower, it's a joke. It's a joke. My brother and I always had shoes, people, just not on the same day. Yeah, I remember talking to my parents about Santa and questioning them about Santa. I'm like, Mom, how is Santa going to bring us presents? And she would be like, don't worry, honey, he knows where we're parked. Our Christmas carols were different growing up. We had different words to all of our Christmas carols. Like, you know what, I'm going to skip this joke. Woo, it's a doozy. Not just Christmas, all poor kid holidays are the same, right? They always are just a little different, right? Do you guys know what poor kid Groundhog Day is? You walk in the kitchen and flick the lights on. If the roaches don't scatter, 6 more weeks of winter. I don't know why we bothered. They were Philly roaches. You would flick the lights on. They'd be like, can I help you with something? How about you make me a sandwich? Poor kid St. Patrick's Day was great for me. It was the only day of the year that nobody questioned that I brought green bread to school. That was it? That was it? That was the line? That was the line. That was too much. Look, folks, it's okay for you to laugh at these jokes. It really is, right? This is my story, redeemed for God's glory, like this bar here, right? And I've been able to go all over the East Coast and raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for homeless family charities with these stories. So, yes. So it is okay for you to laugh at these. It really is. And I hope you do, because I have more. Halloween was great as a poor kid. Great. Oh, it was great. I always had a costume every year. I would just go out in my street clothes, and I was a hobo every year. That joke is insensitive. I think they prefer to be called transient now. But I loved it, man, because we would go around trick-or-treating, and I would always get 2 huge bags of candy. And then my mom would take one and put it away, so she had something to put in our Easter baskets. To this day, I still have no idea what Dracula teeth have to do with the resurrection. I don't know, something about the blood? Oh, this is nice. So my kids and I, man, we're experiencing did experience school, grade school, very differently. You know, they got to go in their grade school in the suburbs, and I was in a grade school in inner city Philadelphia. It was very different, you know. For instance, when it was below 40 degrees, my kids were not allowed to go out for recess. I'm like, are you kidding me? My teacher, Mrs. Turner, she would have been like, I don't care if Bobby lost 2 toes last week. You kids are going outside. If it's icy, just hold on to the rusty fence. That's how we got tough and tetanus, apparently. Yeah, man, completely different. My kids' school, it was very, very multicultural. You know, they had kids from all over the place. You know, they had kids from India, they had kids from Pakistan, this one weirdo kid from Alabama. Sorry, Joe, that joke is normally about New Jersey. But you're here, so. That was something I noticed. When you guys bought a building, you moved as far away from New Jersey as possible. That's a good move. People wonder why Philly people are always so irritated. You'd be irritated too if New Jersey was your next door neighbor. New Jersey, the state that makes you ask, what's that smell? Sorry, we were talking about my kids and school and all kinds of other stuff. You know, their school, they were not allowed to run at recess. Right? Now you can talk, huh? Yeah, man, they weren't allowed to run at recess. It was so sad when you would drive by the schoolyard at recess time, all the kids were standing in a circle playing tag, just poking each other. Until the school said that was bullying. And now they just stand in a circle and text it to each other. Not my school, fellas. No, no. When I was in grade school, not only did they encourage us to run, they taught us a little game called Red Rover. So, here's how it goes, guys. The teachers would come out and they'd be like, okay, we're gonna build a human wall of children, and then we're gonna send another child running headlong into it. And meanwhile, the teachers are in the corner of the schoolyard placing bets. I got $20 on a fat kid. I made a lot of money from Mrs. Turner that year. You guys, I want to thank you so much for coming out tonight. And normally I try to leave on a big laugh, but I want to leave on a little bit more of a serious note. Many of us in this room, and I know because I know you people, many of us a few weeks ago voted for pro-life tickets, right? And that is going to help. But you know what's going to help even more? Throw $20 in that jug. That's going to literally, at the ground level, the money in that bucket is going to save a life. So let's dig deep, let's fill that guy up, and let's save some lives. Thank you guys so much. Love you all.
Well, those guys must not have been too bad. You guys stuck around. Let's get over for Gabe Mahalik. Ryan Rowe. And let's not forget Mr. Al Smith. Chainbreaker, baby. Man, thanks for coming out. This is Full Throttle Cafe, hosted by Freedom Biker Church. We do this the first Saturday of the month if we can. Check us out on Facebook, Full Throttle Cafe, Freedom Biker Church, First State. If you do not have a church service, you'd like to come check us out, we have prayer circle at 10 o'clock, and the service starts at 10:33. Yes, 10:33. We don't like to give up any of the minutes in the clock. So, and like again, thanks for coming out. Yeah, donations. If you don't have cash, we take scanner. All money raised from the register, all money in this bucket, 100%. Door of Hope, 100% goes to Door of Hope. Thank you, young lady. Stick around, talk to the comedians, stuff some cash in here. Thank you, and have a blessed night.
Lights.